Coming to you from Monterrey in northeastern Mexico. It's 6:25 p.m. and we're at a crucial moment, a major turning point in this situation between Pakistan, Iran, and everything that's happening in this armed conflict. It all seemed to be a deception, since this is what we're seeing with the Pakistanis. Look, according to US officials, they have revealed this information to CBS News. But there's more information coming from Afghanistan that could corroborate that the Iranians were hiding military planes inside Pakistan. This is a double betrayal. It's a betrayal of the relationship between the United States and Pakistan. It's also a betrayal of the United Arab Emirates, which has been the most attacked country and with whom they have a very important relationship, including an agreement and a contract stating that if anyone attacks the United Arab Emirates, Pakistan would have to retaliate. But if you have a military relationship with the Iranians, obviously, what does that mean? It means you're siding with Iran. So in this case, Pakistan is, if this is true as it's being reported, it would be a double betrayal. Obviously, they are denying it, right? They are saying that's not the case, that no, this didn't happen. Let's review what's known and discuss the details. Share your thoughts. First, there's a report that comes out where they say that Pakistan would be, well, in any case, showing how in a series of pretty large warehouses, they had hidden a bunch of Iranian planes there. Hey, so where are they? There are supposed to be many destroyed planes from Iran. Where are they? Where are the planes? And well, they can't find them, right? They say they destroyed one of the warehouses, that there were already planes, but it was never proven. It turns out that this would be happening in that region. I mean, it would be happening in different bunkers, or not really bunkers, but more like warehouses. They would be hiding these planes. Not only that, there's more information. This comes out from an Afghan official who revealed to US media how Afghanistan was also hiding more planes, or that there are a lot of Iranian planes inside Afghanistan and a lot of Iranian planes inside Pakistan. Afghanos. But when it comes to the Afghans, well, you say it doesn't surprise you. I mean, the Afghans, even though they fought with everyone, they fought with the Afghans themselves. By the way, pay attention. That's very strange because Afghanistan has fought with Pakistan, but it turns out that Pakistan and Afghanistan get along well with Iran. That's already quite curious in itself, isn't it? It's a mess. And as for Pakistan, Pakistan plays a double game because at the end of the day, if Pakistan is presenting itself to the United States as a neutral country and at the same time is dealing with the United Arab Emirates, I mean, let's say the United Arab Emirates would be involved. I suppose they're on the verge of a break in relations, right? I mean, there would have to be a break. In the end, well, who are they siding with? Or have the United Arab Emirates lent a lot of money to Pakistan to begin with? There's an agreement where the paper it's written on is worth more than the agreement itself. I mean, that agreement has no validity at all. It was already suspicious that Iran kept launching attacks on the United Arab Emirates, right? They have agreements with Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and similar countries. With Saudi Arabia, they have a defense commitment. And with the United Arab Emirates, it's more of a trade agreement, right? A commercial agreement. So they have two agreements: United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, another country that has also been playing neutral and that also hasn't, let's say, complied with the rules. Gracias. For example, with Qatar, it was known that there were also groups within Qatar that were operating in favor of Hamas at the time, and that wasn't well received. Thank you, Qatar. Obviously, that's also why at some point, how much did they stop talking within Qatar? You'll remember last year, and besides, what neutral country forces you to take neutrality to the maximum? A standard that obviously neither Qatar nor the United Arab Emirates nor Oman are complying with. They have also shown a great relationship with the Iranians. So let's say there's a very interesting diplomatic move here by the Iranians. Have they understood that? In the end, this is a war game, and it's a game like chess where you have to position yourself and think 3 or 4 moves ahead. So we're seeing a game that's already rigged, where there's already deception. So there's no agreement. There's not even an attempted agreement. Maybe they'll keep playing with this idea of an agreement, but at least as long as it's through Pakistan, this isn't going to work. No, I don't know if you remember, but Astrid and I mentioned to you several times that we had that feeling. Obviously, it's the intuition you get from spending so many hours on this, years devoted to this. So you develop a certain intuition. After so much watching, observing, and reading about these topics, sometimes it just comes down to intuition. And we would say, look, we feel, and I talked about this with him, and then we mentioned it to you, we would tell you, we feel that when he arrives in the US and when Iran arrives, the treatment is completely different. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be extremely neutral and equal, because if not, then there is no trust. Did you see how the Iranian authorities arrived in Pakistan and they were received almost like heroes? Do you remember? The images that came after the reception of J.D. Vance, the US Vice President, were dull. They came with lots of smiles, with their little flowers and everything, but it felt different. No? It felt like what you guys post on social media, whether it's previous videos or even on Twitter. You can check it, or on X. Right? Where are the welcomes? And of course, you can clearly see it there. But, well, this is just a feeling. Now this, yes. Right. The report that comes out like this, 10, and the report that's coming too, both through CBS and through the same ones. Reports from the Afghans, which confirm that they have Iranian military planes being sheltered in that area, well, they are. It's a huge issue because it means that the weakening of the Iranians isn't as great as was thought. Matik. Last week, we already told you here about a US intelligence report that already mentioned a bit of this, because they said that the missile launchers are not destroyed, or that about 25% have been destroyed, but the rest about still active and functioning. The same goes for the missiles. Even the production of missiles is still ongoing. This totally contradicts Trump's narrative, but even more so when it comes to the issue of the planes. It means not even the planes. All that's left for them to claim the Navy survived and is hidden somewhere. That would really be the last straw, right? This whole thing is crazy, and it's a constant deception from both sides. Yeah, definitely from both sides, because it's a war of narratives. It's a war about looking right more than truly being right, isn't it? So it's really interesting. Obviously, we're going to be paying attention to see how this topic develops and moves forward. But maybe this news will go almost unnoticed by most media outlets, which usually only report on the most intense or eye-catching moments. Like if there's a bombing or something like that. Actually, when it comes to reporting on these topics, these kinds of reports are the most important, because it shows you how there's a whole strategy behind it on both sides, even in third countries, to keep influencing things. Who is behind Pakistan? I know you guys know. I'm not going to say it. Let's wait and see if someone reveals it in a comment. But who do you think is behind Pakistan in this whole game? There's someone behind it, obviously. Let's see if anyone figures it out without commenting. But I'm sure someone will comment, and we'll analyze it here. Hey, in the meantime, while I wait for the answer, since I think there's enough of a community for someone to give the answer, that would be great. I'll tell you how things are here. So we're living... No, basically, it's a very interesting time in the United States, in Latin America, and in different countries. They're playing with a lot of very curious ideas. In China, there it is. Look, China is in your summary. Really? Is that so? Is it in the description? Is that in the description? I can't remember. Where's the? But anyway, first read the description. That's great news. I thought most people didn't read it. At least some of you do. Thank you so much for doing it because we try to put a summary there. Nearly with most of the points we usually cover. Sometimes we even add extra points. So that's great. Really great. Jose, my namesake. Here are my namesakes. There are several namesakes here. Jose Zahate and also Jose Mendez. Great. Jose Mendez, thank you for reading the description. We try to summarize or at least include all the points. Sometimes we even add more points there than the ones we talk about, but that's because we run out of time. Sometimes it's the other way around, right? We talk about more points than the ones listed there. Greetings, good evening. Especially in these shorter videos, the full summary is pretty much in the description. With longer videos, there's no room to summarize everything. Exactly, China is there. I mean, China ultimately has a huge relationship, and I would even say it's strategically vital for China's future. We have to remember that they have a huge port there that will be directly connected to China, and everything that doesn't come down through Asia and the straits on that side could completely bypass them. And it's not about choosing one or the other. No, no, no. You have to have two, three, four. You have to have all possible outlets in order to sell. If 80 or 90% of your trade is exporting, sending things out, then obviously as China, you have to think about that, right? And well, it's correct in the sense that their strategies work for them, right? And they have to think them through very carefully. Just like the United States, their strategy is focused on Iran as part of its effort to influence the Middle East, and the United States wants to be the biggest influencer in the region along with Israel. That war has been ongoing for a long time. The one who accelerates it, Trump, clearly, right? The one who accelerates it is Trump. And well, there they go, right? There they go. Tomorrow, Tuesday, well, in a few more hours, the meeting begins, the summit between China, the United States, and South Korea. Not the one between Trump and Xi yet. At that summit, they will give us signals about what the meeting will actually be or what approach the Trump-Xi Jinping meeting will have. If you notice, both Trump and Xi Jinping have done everything possible to make sure the meeting takes place. They've even done things that are a bit. For example, why do you think the United States is practically not attacking Iran right now? Even though there have been tensions, they've tried to cross the Strait of Hormuz several times. They've disabled, so to speak, 4 oil tankers or cargo ships because it's not clear. 61 han sido regresados. O sea, there are tensions every day. The gunboats are laying mines. Today, there was apparently an attack on an oil tanker, although it's not known which one, because there are only satellite images showing it. Why does the United States often respond so little or not at all to many of these things? Because there's a meeting with Xi Jinping, and the meeting is more important than all of this that's happening. So after the meeting and whatever result comes from it, we'll see what's going on. There's a theory, and I've seen it from several analysts, specifically from China, that they believe China's strategy is a very classic one. The strategy is, if your enemy, if they consider you an enemy, let's assume they do, right? If your competitor, your enemy, your rival is wearing themselves out on something, don't get involved. I mean, if you have a race in 3 days and you see that your rival is making a mistake that's wearing them out, well, you say, I'm not going to push you because that would be cheating, but I'm not going to tell you not to do it either, right? So you just keep making your mistake and wear yourself out as much as you can. And it seems like that's the case, at least for some people. I'm not so sure, but some believe that. And that's why I'm telling you to see what you think. But it could be, I mean, I don't rule out the possibility that the United States is simply, I mean, that China's just playing along. Like, let's see how much they can wear themselves out. Let's see how long they can last. I mean, if there was any wear and tear compared to other wars, like the one in Ukraine, the wear is minimal. Because, look, Zelensky was saying somewhere in 3 days, the United States used more weapons than they've given us in 4 years. What the United States sends to Ukraine is nothing compared to when they go to war themselves. When they go to war, they're really tough or they spend a lot. Okay. And in that wear and tear, the United States congressmen, we were watching it here and sharing some small clips. We're sharing the percentage of decrease of which missiles, something that was harshly criticized by both Democrats and Republicans. And well, that's how it is, right? A lot of weapons are produced, but they're used up very quickly, way too quickly. And when a drone, each drone costing $20,000 makes you use 2 or 3 Patriot missiles, each of which costs $2 to $3 million. Well, it's a brutal drain, right? It's just too much wear and tear. And that's the game the Chinese are playing right now. That's what they believe, except for a few. I insist. I think there's something more behind it. I don't think they're that passive because that's what it is. Thinking that way means thinking that China is very passive and just sitting back watching. I don't think they're that passive. I think they do operate, but they're very stealthy. Let's put it this way. Like the Pakistanis were. I mean, Pakistan is all about stealth. They don't achieve it alone. Honestly, I don't think so. If that's it, if that was real, the Pakistanis almost pulled it off. Zero. Pakistan would become a country no one can trust. Absolutely zero. Just like that. Who would trust a country like that to make deals and things like that? Well, it's really complicated. I mean, I think that's my opinion. Well, let's quickly go to the comments. It says here, how have you been, Jose? Yes, Taiwan is non-negotiable for the United States. I think so too. I don't think they're going to negotiate on the Taiwan issue. I noticed the Taiwanese seem a bit nervous, but I still don't think the Taiwan issue can be negotiated. No, it's not like that. Good point. It says there that the Chinese have their hands in most of the enemies of the United States. I see that too, just like you. I see that there are more. Well, an intention to get fully involved, but always with like presenting themselves in an institutional way, right? I mean, that's kind of the way they try to throw you off, but honestly, I don't buy it. I don't see it that way. I'm more inclined, I bet, on what you're saying. Well, that they're playing a bit more aggressively. They're not as passive as many claim or believe. How have you been? Hello, Veronica. It says this whole conflict with Iran is a mess. Greetings, Veronica. How have you been? Walter 2296. Hello, Pariu. How have you been, Patrick? Warm greetings. Thank you very much. Let's see if there's an opportunity. We'll be back with another report and other matters as well. No, but if not, then see you tonight. No, no. Yes, yes. Well, the world and well, nothing. We keep talking. We're here all day, keeping ourselves updated. Best wishes. Take care. See you later.